Ikika Orimura begins to attend the Infinite Stratos Academy. As the only male in the world to pilot an IES, he becomes an instant sensation among the all-female students of the academy, with his homeroom teacher being his older sister and champion IS pilot Chifuyu Orimura, assisted by substitute instructor Maya Yamada. Ikika is uneasy and unprepared as he tries to get used to the academy. He later learns that his dorm roommate is his childhood friend, Kendo champion Haoki Shinanono, whom he has not seen in 6 years. When his class decides to elect him as their class representative, Cecilia Alcott, a British IS pilot, objects and challenges him to a duel for the position. Chifuyu tells Ikika that he will be provided with his own personal IS for his match against Cecilia, a rarity since only 467 IS cores were created by Tabane Shinanono, Haoki's older sister, before she disappeared. To prepare, Haoki agrees to train Ikika by practicing kendo brutally. On the day of the match, Ikika is given the Byakushiki to fight against Cecilia in her own personal unit, the Blue Tears. At first, Cecilia has the advantage due to her sniper abilities, but Ikika eventually manages to transform his IS into first shift, pulling out his energy sword. However, using the energy sword quickly depletes his shield energy, and it runs out just as Ikika is about to land a strike on Cecilia. The match is declared over with Cecilia as the winner. After losing, Ikika agrees to train more with Haoki. On the other hand, even though she technically won, Cecilia becomes unsure of herself. Cecilia takes a liking to Ikika and gives the position of class representative to him instead as an apology for acting childish in the 2 previous episodes, much to Haoki's dismay. The next day, Ikika meets Lingyan Wang, the new transfer student from China who also happens to be his childhood friend as well as the class representative of her class. After Ikika and Lingyan get reacquainted with each other, Haoki and Cecilia get jealous. Upon learning that Haoki is Ikika's roommate, Lingyan tries to get Haoki to let her become his roommate instead, to which Haoki refuses. Lingyan later leaves in anger after Ikika fails to figure out the childhood promise that they had made in the past, as she wants to settle it in a class league match of the IS tournament. With his match against Lingyan with her Shenlong soon approaching, Ikika prepares himself. Ikika and Lingyan battle in the class league match, but they are interrupted when a mysterious IS attacks the arena. As Ikika and Lingyan hold off the IS so the audience can escape, they soon realize that the IS is an unmanned drone called a golem due to its mechanical behavior. Together with Cecilia, the 3 of them manage to defeat the golem, but not before it injures Ikika. As Ikika recovers while Lingyan watches over him, Ikika wonders if the promise that he made with Lingyan had a different meaning, in which the latter quickly denies. Meanwhile, Chifuyu and Meyer examine the defeated golem and confirm that it is an unmanned drone with a unique IS core apart from the other 467 IS cores that the world actually has, leading them to question who would make such a thing. Ikika acts dense when Haoki is allowed the chance to have her own room. As she leaves in anger, she makes him promise to go out with her should she win the next tournament, which then spreads into a rumor that the winner of the tournament would score a date with Ikika. At the same time, Charles Dunois, a supposedly male IS pilot from France, arrives and becomes Ikika's new roommate. During a training session, Chifuyu has Cecilia and Lingyan battle against Meyer in the Raphael Revive Basic, though Cecilia and Lingyan are easily defeated despite them piloting the more advanced models. During lunch, as the girls share their food with Ikika, he declares that Haoki's food tastes the best, much to the dismay of Cecilia and Lingyan. The next day, the entire class gets taken aback when Laura Bodwig, who is a transfer student from Germany and an acquaintance of Chifuyu, arrives. Laura immediately walks up to Ikika and slaps him hard, saying that she is unable to accept him as Chifuyu's brother. As Ikika has a training session with Charles in the Raphael Revive Custom 2, the former declines a fight challenged by Laura. On his way to his dorm room, Ikika spots Chifuyu refusing to comply with Laura, who begs Chifuyu to return to Germany and says that the academy is not suitable for her teaching status. It is revealed that when Ikika got kidnapped during the second Mondo Grosso of the IS Championship, Chifuyu forfeited the finals to rescue her brother. Ikika later walks in on Charles in the shower, discovering that Charles is actually a girl. Charles explains that her family corporation had entered a financial crisis due to the demand for the third-generation models, and she was ordered to act as a boy to give the company publicity and eventually steal data from these models. Ikika decides to keep this a secret on behalf of her safety due to the diplomatic immunity of the Academy if Charles stays for a few more years. Meanwhile, Laura, who blames Ikika for blemishing his sister's record, removes her eye patch to display her golden left eye as she swears revenge on him. Haoki becomes pressured to win the upcoming tournament after her attempt to ask Ikika out has escalated into a rumor that whoever wins the tournament would score a date with him. As Cecilia and Lingian prepare to spar, Laura appears in the Schwarzer region and goads them into a 2-on-1 battle, effortlessly countering all their attacks. When she continues to beat the two at the risk of their lives, Ikika and Charles step into the rescue before Chifuyu reveals that the duel will be settled in another tournament. It is soon announced that the tournament will be conducted in pairs, with Ikika choosing Charles as his partner. On the day of the tournament, it is decided via lottery that Haoki is to be paired up with Laura in a class league match against Ikika and Charles. Laura focuses on fighting Ikika while she tosses aside Haoki, who is then disabled by Charles. Ikika and Charles then take advantage of lowering Laura's shield energy to defeat her, despite Ikika depleting all of his. With her defeat imminent, Laura reminisces her past of being a failed genetically engineered soldier, until her first meeting with Chifuyu. However, Laura resents Ikika upon learning that Chifuyu has shown her softer side because of him. As a result of not wanting to lose, her unit's dormant VT system kicks in, causing her to go berserk and transform into a Dark IS. Charles transfers her remaining shield energy to Ikika, allowing him to manifest his energy sword. He strikes the Dark IS and frees Laura. After Laura recovers, Chifuyu explains what caused her IS to go berserk, then consoles her to choose her own path. Despite the tournament being cancelled, Ikika decides to date Haoki. Later at the newly opened male public bath, Charles tells Ikika that she will stay at the academy under her true name, Charlotte Dunois. When the class learns the truth about Charlotte, an angry Lingian arrives to punish Ikika. However, Laura intervenes and kisses Ikika in front of the class, declaring him as her bride, which leaves everyone else in shock. Haoki calls her sister Tabane, who reveals she has completed a personal IS called the Akatsubaki just for her. After being grappled by Laura, who snuck into his room during the night, and beaten up by Haoki, Ikika goes with Charlotte to the mall to buy swimsuits for the upcoming beach study session while Cecilia, Lingian, and Laura stalk them. When Charlotte notices them following her, she hides with Ikika in the dressing room to show off her swimsuit, but they are eventually discovered by Chifuyu and Meyer instead. During the beach study session, each of the girls tries to get close with Ikika, but their efforts somehow backfire. The students and staff then enjoy a game of beach volleyball. As sunset arrives, Chifuyu talks with Haoki about Tabane and believes her sister will come with the Akatsubaki on the 7th day of July. After catching the girls listening at their room while Ikika is massaging her, Chifuyu has a pep talk with the girls about their feelings for her brother and gives them some advice. The next day, Tabane arrives in person to deliver the Akatsubaki, a 4th-generation model with abilities far more advanced than the other models, and Haoki gives it a test run. However, Chifuyu soon receives news from Maya that an unmanned IS developed by the United States and Israel called the Silver Gospel has gone out of control. After assessing the situation, Chifuyu orders the group to stop it, while Ikika and Haoki will pursue it. As the only two people with 4th-generation models, they would be fast enough to catch up with the Silver Gospel. As Ikika and Haoki begin their operation, the others notice how happy Haoki looks, which prompts Chifuyu to tell Ikika to watch over her carefully. As Ikika and Haoki engage in battle with the Silver Gospel and are about to corner it, Ikika notices an illegal fishing ship in the area and breaks off formation to protect it. Haoki is angry at Ikika for ruining the plan, but he scolds her for disregarding the safety of the ship, which is something she never does. However, the Silver Gospel launches a surprise attack on them, which forces Ikika to protect Haoki by shielding her with himself. In the chaos, Haoki's hair ribbon gets completely burnt. As the critically injured Ikika is admitted, Haoki blames herself on what happened and wants to quit being an IS pilot. Cecilia, Lingian, Charlotte, and Laura manage to convince her otherwise. Together, they ignore Chifuyu's orders to stand by and go after the Silver Gospel themselves. As the girls fight the Silver Gospel, Ikika has a dream where he accepts power from a young girl and a warrior woman, driven from his desire to protect his comrades. Haoki cuts one of the wings off the Silver Gospel as it falls into the ocean, but it reemerges with angel wings as it goes into second shift and takes down the girls. Haoki is soon awakened by Ikika in the Byakushiki Setsura, its second shift, and he gives her a new hair ribbon as a birthday gift. With their combined strength, Ikika and the girls finally destroy the Silver Gospel, with Ikika giving the finishing blow. As they return to their hotel, Chifuyu lectures them for defying orders, but allows them some rest and recuperation as a reward. At a seaside cliff before Tabane vanishes, Chifuyu realizes that Tabane not only coincidentally allowed Ikika to be the only male pilot in the academy, but Tabane also hacked the Silver Gospel to go berserk in order to debut the Akatsubaki. At the beach, Haoki apologizes to Ikika for his injuries and admits her feelings for him. As Ikika attempts to kiss Haoki, they are interrupted by the other girls, who are jealous at the scene, forcing Ikika to carry Haoki to safety.